with Judge Jeanine Pirro and psychology expert, radio talk show host, Dr. Gina Loudon. Good to see you both. Okay, I don't understand. I'll ask you both. How is it that if somebody comes from a country with what I call a clash of cultures, where they literally believe men should tell women how to dress, and men should tell women if they could go on an airplane and travel or leave the house without a male relative, where gays and lesbians are killed, where Christians and Jews are persecuted? I'm trying to fully and completely understand why, if you come from that country, we need to know, do you believe that? Do you want to proselytize us, or do you want to join our family?
You know, Sean, that is exactly the issue. Do you believe in Sharia law? And if you believe in that, that means it is inconsistent with the Constitution. You do not believe in free speech. You do not believe in women's rights. You do not believe in gay rights. All the things that they would trash you and me for, if God forbid we didn't believe in those rights, we are willing to allow people that we know are individuals, or actually we don't know who they are, to come here, stick to their own rules, and then say, gee, if they kill us, well, we have to make sure that nobody commits a crime of hate. This is hogwash, Sean. And what is happening in the UK is coming to the United States.
You're a homophobic, you're a racist. Well, that's what the left says.
Things, and I'll tell you why, Sean, and neither are you. The problem is that we expect these people to integrate. And one of the issues is assimilate. One of the issues is they don't want to. And now we've got people in Congress saying because they are de facto desegregated or segregated from the rest of us, that we have to understand that they're angry with us. All right, we let them in the country.
Dr. Loudon, it makes zero sense to me that people take this position. To me, they're gambling with the lives of the American people because they want to be so politically correct. How do we know that they're not bringing those values with them? How do you ascertain, by the way, what's in somebody's heart?
Well, you have to ask those questions, Sean. And so far, the leftist media and the leftist political body refuses to actually even have the conversation. They can't have an honest enough conversation to even talk about, for example, what's wrong with taking courses like Western civilizations out of our school? What's wrong with asking people to learn English? What's wrong with looking at concentrated centers of Islamist activity and saying, hey, we have increased crime in those areas and something needs to be done about it. But those conversations are politically incorrect and they won't have them.
Dr. Loudon, you know, it may be hard for people to understand. Even Great Britain has over 80 Sharia courts, separate and apart from the British legal system. So the idea that what has happened in Europe can't happen here, to me, is absurd thinking. That is how little assimilation, and I'm not even talking about Germany or Belgium or France, has taken place in parts of the continent of Europe.
We're not being honest at all in this whole episode, Sean. And like anyone knows who's ever been to therapy, if you're going to get better, you have to first consider having a really honest, open-minded conversation. And we don't talk about things like the Pew Research Center, who investigated and found that almost 60% of certain areas of Islam believe that suicide bombers are justified. Until we have these hardcore conversations, Sean, we can't come to any sort of
That's such a good point.
But in addition to the conversations, the whole paradigm of law enforcement has to change. If we know that the imam from this man's mosque called authorities, neighbors called authorities, frightened that he was a terrorist, we know that he's been to the two countries, Libya and Syria, that are the strongholds of the Islamic State, and his brother is a member of the Islamic State. This is a redo of the Boston bombers. And law enforcement has to now change their paradigm as to what they're going to look at. You've got to follow the social media. You've got to follow them going into the country.
And the fact that the president said, get rid of them, out, I think is such a...
Drive them out.
Drive them out. All right. Thank you both. Appreciate it.